Welcome to the Fleet Geeks podcast. We're here to help develop fleet and transport professionals. Do you want to progress and develop your skills and knowledge? We promise to bring lively conversation and debate around interesting issues and keep you bang up to date with changes in our awesome industry. The Fleet Geeks are a community of professionals, and if you enjoy the podcast, why not join the discussion for free in the Fleet Geek community over on Facebook?
Probably not a bad shout. Right, so the red light's rolling. I'm joined today by Mike Vickers, an honorary Fleet Geek, Tom Reddy. How are we doing, Tom?
Really good, Pete. Really good. Thanks for inviting me along today.
Morning, Tom.
Mike, how's things with you, mate?
Yeah, pretty good. Good weekend, and it's all raring to go again for another fresh week. And talking about fresh, Tom's looking very fresh this morning. We've remarked on that already, haven't we, Tom?
Tom, just for the benefit of the listeners, are you all right to just give them a bit of an insight into who you are and the part you play in our Fleet Geek peer-to-peer group, please?
Yes, so I'm a transport consultant and external transport manager. I also more and more do training. So I teach the transport manager CPC for the past couple of years. So you very kindly invited me along to your peer-to-peer group, and I'm really enjoying it. It's been a great opportunity so far.
Thank you. Yeah, so this session is really just a short one for listeners to be able to get a better feel. We're doing a series of podcasts for listeners to get a better feel for what the Fleet Geek peer-to-peer group is. We're looking to grow the group, and we're offering the first month free for new potential members as well. And there's no hard sell after that either. If people, if they want to join, then great, and if they don't, that's fine. It is a commitment for people. Now, Tom sits as one of the mentors on the group, along with James Adcroft, who we'll speak to on another podcast. But one of the reasons I approached Tom to speak and be a mentor with myself and Mike on the peer-to-peer group was that Tom's got a real vast array of experience and always talks very good sense. Having driven and been a transport manager, and also an external transport manager who's had the pain of learning some tough lessons from time to time. So one of the things that I just wanted to cover is a lot of people won't really understand what the peer-to-peer group is. So when you joined, Tom, what were your expectations of the peer-to-peer group?
I think we all see that problem when people get into transport management, whether you go internally or externally. There's an element of not knowing what you're supposed to be doing in some respects. Like, we all have our areas of expertise, but we always tend to fall down on certain areas. And the logical place to go when you in that situation is social media. Seems to be, you sort of go on Facebook, you go on LinkedIn, and you put it out there into the world. And what we see on that is, unfortunately, a lot of negative. There is some good stuff in there, but you have to filter out. Now, with the peer-to-peer group, it's much more a supportive environment. So I've really noticed that. So it's a stark contrast to what you can expect online to what you get in the group. It's a private group, subject to the group privilege. Nothing goes outside what we talk about, but we really dig into problems without making people feel anything negative. It's all very positive, very supportive. So I think that's one of the huge plus points for it, among others, but definitely that is a big factor. I really like helping people where I can with this, because like you mentioned, we've all made those mistakes along the way, where we've kind of wished maybe there was somebody there to just give us a hand instead of sort of jumping in at the deep end. So that I wanted to try, if I could, none of us know everything, but we'll all have a bit of experience we can draw on to help. And we've seen it play out already to the group's benefit. So that's been really positive.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike, I'll just bring you in on that one. As a fellow transport manager, CPC trainer, along with Tom, the disparity between the qualification and actually doing the job, that's one of the sort of aims of the group, isn't it? Sort of plug that gap.
Yes, but yes, it is definitely a gap, and it's very noticeable. The passing the exam is just a beginning. Learning starts after that, and we often use the analogy, don't we, about your driving test. You pass your driving test, and then you start to learn to drive, and it's very much like that with the industry we're in. And I think the peer-to-peer group has, it was a new thing for me, and it's an eye opener for me as well too. And I think this sort of culture that we have, that nobody knows everything. And trainers might pretend to know everything, but I can absolutely assure you that we don't. And everybody, there's a vast world out there with the transport industry, and we all need that sort of knowledge and experience to take forward. And I think got to hold my hand up. I was fairly new to Facebook. I don't know how it missed me all these years, but we joined reasonably recently, and I was quite shocked about the level of vitriol, I think that's the right word, that is aimed at people who maybe ask a question that others seem to be, well, why don't you know that? Well, that's the reason I asked it, because I don't know it. Otherwise I wouldn't have asked it. As we always say, and Tom will agree with me in training, the only stupid question is the one you don't ask. That's really stupid.
Yeah.
Do you notice that tendency online that we see more and more lately is to be anonymous? Because that's a feature, isn't it? You can be anonymous to ask a question and it will just say a group member has asked this. And I notice that more and more. And there's another reason you don't need to be anonymous in the peer-to-peer group. You can just be you. You can bring whatever problems. We will generally, as well, this is another, we'll always get to something, won't we? There's never, we can't between us come up with a solution to that. It's always like something people have gone away with. And we've seen that week on, that they will, I did that thing and now it's better, or at least we have a way through it. So it's just really encouraging in that way, really supportive environment.
To say, isn't it fantastic? Like, we're 6 months in now. I know personally, I've seen some real progress, I think is the right word, in some of the members of the group. I think it's absolutely fantastic to have seen them try stuff that I think that as a group, the group have given that confidence to be able to go and try those new things, and having tried them, that's made them more confident. And again, with confidence comes competence as well, doesn't it? So I think the two things go hand in hand. So one of the questions I've got for you, Tom, was what made you agree to help support myself and Mike with your expertise?
Well, it's very flattering to be asked. Is one of the reasons. But among other things, I mentioned, I want to help people. I know how difficult it is to make a start with this, and so it seemed like a great forum for doing that without just, you can be on Facebook and then you're just one of the voices, aren't you? And you get ignored or not as much as everyone else. But this gives a kind of structure to, we set a date every month, we come and do it, we deal with the problems. And the other thing to mention is it's not just a free for all chat room. It's not like a WhatsApp where we've just all got together. It's definite structure to the group. So I like the idea that each time you'll go away with an opportunity for personal development as well. So as well as dealing with the problems you've got that week or that month, then you get something else out of it that maybe perhaps you weren't expecting, which is good. And I want to be part of the solution. I don't want to be one of those people shouting into the void on social media. I want to try and do something positive. And I'm sure if the likes of the DVSA, the likes of the traffic commissioners, they knew things like this existed, they would be very supportive, particularly if they could see. And so you're onto something good when it feels like that. You just get a good feeling, don't you, after the group? It's a very uplifting in a world where there's a lot of bad stuff going on. Also in our work life, it may be quite challenging. You go away from the evening thinking, that's we got something out of that. That was really good. So all of those things come together. But
I guess that's probably quite close to answering my next question, which was around what do you get out of the group? And when I was sort of writing the questions for this session, I was sort of reflecting, well, what do I get out of the group? And that, do you know what? We do the call on a monthly basis. And I think if I'm honest, if I had more time, we'd try and do them more often if we could, because there's just such a nice feel-good factor after the call, isn't there? That we've had a community get-together. Like, as humans, we're designed to kind of have this tribe mentality, I suppose, and this group thing. And it just feels really good when you get together with like-minded people who want to do better, want to be better. I'm really passionate about improving road safety, and really passionate about improving the professionalism of their transport operators that they work with. I think that's certainly what I get out of it. I think it just gives me a really good feeling. But it's interesting, and I'll open it up to both Mike and Tom. What do you guys sort of get out of the group when you do?
Hi, it's Pete from Flagship Partners. We're really proud to sponsor the Fleet Geeks podcast. Flagship partners offer a range of consultancy and training services to ensure that our customers remain compliant and have the best possible knowledge to be able to fulfill their work. If you're interested in support with any of our safety, HR or compliance services, or you want to train to be a transport manager or need driver CPC training, give us a call today.
Well, if I can come in there, Pete, I mean, training, I'm going to sit here all day and sort of say how brilliant training is, because of course it plays a vital part in whatever, everything we do. We need that structure. We need that formulation. But the group for me is, you get to see the fruits of that. It's, once you say goodbye to delegates, yes, you do keep in touch with them and they do let you know how you're getting on from time to time. But to see the group grow and as Tom said, to see that confidence grow in terms of those practical solutions being put into play every day and how it's really affected them I was thinking about, it's like training, if you could describe that as two-dimensional, the peer-to-peer group is three-dimensional, because there's another dimension to it that you don't get with training. It's worth mentioning that, we always, the structure, as Tom said, the structure is really important. And we do a couple of ed slots, and we have, various people contribute within the group to that. And the stuff we learn from that, honestly, as a trainer, stuff I learn is fantastic. So what the other members will get out of it is phenomenal. So for me, definitely, it's just improving my knowledge so that I can then go on to help other people as well.
That's fantastic. What about you, Tom?
Yeah, it's very similar to that. It's like you see characters develop, but unlike any other forum where you're not invested in this, you feel invested and you want people to succeed. You become that's your goal, isn't it? To see the delegates week to week, they come on with the problems or whatever it is, and you go away and they come back next week and they tell you how it's gone. You think, right, brilliant, we cracked that. So it's a huge confidence boost for all of us, I think. The more it goes through, you're like, well, okay, we're pretty good at this. We get to the bottom between us. We get to the bottom. It may not always be 100% on the nail every time, but there's always some kind of push forward, isn't there? And so I do find it. We've chatted after the group here, haven't we? Sort of messaged back and forth, going, that felt like a really. The last one particularly felt very, very like it was a good, positive, and I think that's a function of getting to know each other better. You feel like part of the family of the group, if you like, and no, it's really satisfying in that respect. For me, maybe I don't bring so many of my own problems, although not exclusively, because I've talked about things I've got going on. But it's much more rewarding as as a trainer and a consultant, and just to help develop people. And so I really enjoy that. I really think it's a real positive feel you get from when you leave, particularly, like I say, it's late in the evening, and maybe you've had a challenging day, and it's kind of that boost.
Definitely. I think one of the things I like to think is the case, and it'll be interesting when we do speak to some of the group members. But what I think must be really great is that it gives them the confidence to try new things and then know that they've got the backup of more people to support them if they need it. So, if they're going for a challenging operator or they're going to do some challenging work, do you know what? I feel safe having a go at this, because if it goes wrong or I have some challenges, I've got the group I need to support me. Whereas there'll be a lot of people out there who feel quite alone, and then they kind of will shy away from that challenge a little bit, I think. So I think the confidence building is really, really important. So hopefully, if people are listening to this and sort of reflecting on it, then potentially you can have like this army of support, I suppose, behind you through the group. Particularly if you're in a challenging spot, or maybe you're worried about moving into a challenging role, that knowing you've got that support in the background to help you can help sort of turbocharge and sort of push that along. Okay, I think my final question then was, what would you say to someone thinking about joining the peer-to-peer group?
Right. Well, there's initially, because of the way you've offered it, Pete, there's nothing to lose, is there? You literally make one commitment of an evening and see if it's a fit for you. But there's nothing else like that out there. What's on offer at the moment for transport managers and people in the industry, there isn't anything like this. And so you're part of something pretty exciting, pretty new. And we've already proved that it's a decent concept. It's working really well for people. So there's nothing to say don't, because there's no commitment, no investment to start with. And then you genuinely will take value away from it. 100%. There'll be something you can take away from even one session. So I think pretty quickly you'll see once you come along. Just to be part of it, really. Just encourage people to be part of it. Don't miss out, because it's going to be quite an exclusive thing, isn't it? There's only so much capacity we could, there's room maybe for a bit of expansion, but at some point it will reach, if we go beyond that number, we're not going to be able to offer the quality of what we're offering at the moment. So I just, get involved, I'd say.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I was going to say the model we have at the moment, I think the founding members are going to be getting the most value that it can ever be offered, because we're not going to be able, what we're offering isn't really totally scalable. So, like you say, I think there's capacity for it to grow probably maybe 5, maybe 10 times more than what it is. But at some point, that's going to, the opportunity there's going to stop, and we're going to have to almost dilute the people that are supporting, and maybe run our own groups and that kind of thing. But I'm sure that will work as well. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I think I've left it sort of, it's nearly 6 months, I think, now, before we started really sort of pushing to promote it, because I wanted to prove the concept. But I feel like we have got to that point now where obviously we're going to be hearing shortly from group members about the value they're getting from it. But I feel like we can really prove, the proof is in the pudding, isn't it, generally speaking? What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, no, absolutely, and it is unique. There is nothing like it. I've been around for an awfully long time, and I've never seen anything like this. And maybe because we are now into a digital era, and the world is a much different place now. We've got the ability to meet online, etc. But the industry has been waiting for something like this. It genuinely has. There are memberships and professional memberships, company memberships to trade associations, etc. But this is really for transport managers, and to share in a very, very unique and personal way. Absolutely, don't please come and join us. You say it'll only take 1 or 2 sessions for you to realise it's a no-brainer. It really is.
Yeah, and hopefully, like you said, I've made it risk-free. People listening, they can just come along and join one for free. First one's for free. And then in reality, it's nice if people will sign up for a 6-month period. But I'm not one, if people don't feel like they're getting value for money once they start paying, then I'm more than happy to refund them, because it's not, I think it's kind of beyond that. Obviously, if we have a group of people, it is, it does run well commercially, but that isn't really the reason for doing it for any of us. It's more around the contribution that we're sort of giving back to the members as well. Okay, brilliant, guys. Thank you very much for coming on. Is there anything else you guys would like to add before I sort of close off this short session?
No, I'm good. Yeah, just please come along and join us and see for yourself. I think it is fantastic.
It's the first time I think we've talked about it in this way, Pete, isn't it? In a kind of outside looking in. So it just clarifies for us that we're in the right place, aren't we? So yeah, do come along and join us. It would be really good to have you.
Thank you very much. And yeah, if you're thinking about it, do reach out. You can have a private chat with Mike, Tom, or myself. If you're not sure if it's for you, give us a shout. Or if the timings don't work for you, there is a potential for us looking at alternative timings and things like that for an alternative group potentially. But yeah, please do get in touch. It's totally risk-free, and we're not one for hard selling either, so there'll be no pressure at all from us at all. Anyway, thank you for listening. Please do share it with your friends, and take care now. Bye-bye.
Great. See you later.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please share with your friends and colleagues too. Join us for free on Facebook with the Fleet Geeks community for transport and fleet managers. Fleet Geeks offers ongoing professional development, networking and mentoring too. So get in touch with me, Pete Rushmer, on any social media platform to find out more.